welcome everyone. We're excited to give you the latest round of updates, specifically tied to all things nesting, which is, obviously a big initiative for us, a big push. And there's a lot of questions, frankly, we've had, and I'm actually going to go walk and shut my door at the same time so I don't have a bunch of people coming in my room. So if you're watching video, I'm actually not at my house. I'm over away out of town right now in Florida. All right, so talking about nesting today, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about, some changing in some of our thinking for the better, and really wanted to lay out, what you can expect over the next few months, because this is going to be a fun adventure for us. We have some amazing stats to share today. Justin, did you want to kick it off?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to be really upfront too and just let you know what you're going to see today. Obviously, there's some things that we've launched, but we also have a lot of things right now that are in the design process. So this is kind of like behind the scenes of things that are upcoming. These designs are not final. This isn't what it would look like when it reaches you. Most likely, things change. We believe in iterative design as well as iterative product development, and so you're going to see it happen. But let's peel back the curtain on some of the things that we're actively working on right now. So one of the cool things we want to just do is just do a real fast recap of like literally just what this week has looked like, which is crazy. Last Friday, we launched nesting version 0.5, which is just like a very basic utility version of nesting. That was you just getting your moonbirds, throwing them in that nest and building with that straw nest as you work towards the bronze nest. That was launched last Friday. Crazy number. It's insane. In terms of total available moonbirds, 91.8% of them are nested, which is, it's ridiculous. It's crazy. We love that everybody's excited about nesting. We hope you're having, it's very early, but I hope you're having a good time nesting and you're getting comfy in those nests. Now,
Yeah,
actually also, go ahead.
Oh, so I was just going to say, one of the things that we're always looking at different numbers across the board. Do we have a slide when it talks to, I don't think we do, and talks to some of the other projects. We didn't want to bring up other.
I didn't make that one.
Yeah, we don't want to bring up other specific projects, but one of the things that you think about, what are these metrics of success that you point to, and what are we tracking internally that we care about? And one of the big things is obviously our unique holder count. That's a very important metric for us. That when we look at the Proof Collective, we're it's over, I think, 93.1% as of this morning. Unique holders of the Proof Collective Pass, which is huge. And I guess first saying, why do we care about unique holders? Well, if we have massive whales or massive DAOs coming in and holding a bunch of our projects, that's great. But at the same time, it also means less community members that are involved. And we know that when we empower each of you with different tools and different ways to promote and different ways to get excited about what we're doing, you become the best brand advocates for the project. And that means just more natural marketing, and more people to meet, more people to hang out with when we do in-person stuff or online or whatever it may be. So we want to see that unique number go up over time. I will say but also when it comes to nesting, it means how many birds are locked up that are not available for sale. So right now we have 216 as of like an hour ago, out of the 10,000 collection that are available for sale. That is the lowest number of available for sale out of 10K PFP projects in the top 10 collections. So we have a lot of diamond-handed, really excited users here. We're very proud of that. Here's the other crazy stat. I told all of you my dream was to have this be a top 5 PFP project for us in the long term. Literally, Justin, what we thought probably would take like 2 years to get to. We're gonna have to build a lot of product and show really kind of like where we are and that we can really deploy all this stuff we're dreaming up. And as of today, we're top 10. We're number 6 in terms of overall total volume in PFP projects. So if you sort on OpenSea and then you look at there's some other ones in there that are more kind of like decentralized, like Artblocks is in there that we don't consider them a PFP project, and some others. But in terms of PFP projects, we're now number 6, which we're really proud of. And then when you compare us to the top 10 in terms of the amount of inventory that's available for sale, meaning people that are holding on to them, we are the most diamond-handed out of all of them, with the lowest of 216. I don't want to get in and compare to other projects And I think that all other, in my mind, there's so few number of NFTs available out there. We should be about supporting each other, but I'm just telling you kind of like what we track. And so that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's been really important for us just to look at that and, kind of look at trends. And again, like, we are just really pleased to see this community continue to be excited about what we're building. We're in this for the long run. We've got a really dense product roadmap as it relates, to Moonbirds, to going beyond just Moonbirds. Like, we are buckled up and ready to go. And we're just really excited to have you all here with us, co-creating, giving feedback and all that stuff. And we see moments like this where Kevin and I get to be on this digital stage sharing what we're doing as a community event where we want to hear from you. We want to hear, what are you excited about? Do you have feedback? What can we do to continue improving our mechanism and our form of communication, making sure it's regular and making sure that you feel like you're a part of what we're building here. That's really important to us.
It's actually a lot about what we're announcing today, to be honest, is like this came from directly from the community. So I'm excited to get into that.
Well, and yeah, it's funny because the next slide, we launched nesting on Friday. On Monday, we released the nested bird transfer because we had feedback about people wanting, hey, how do we make this more clear? How can we make sure we could do this? So Ryan and I just hacked together the version that would go. We released it on Monday. We had people when we released
our other Ryan, by the way. We have
Ryan Lefevre, who's our director of engineering. We had people that were telling us like, oh, it would be a little more clear on some of the fields if you told us like what was required or what it looks like. So then, okay, great. We're going to go ahead. We're going to make that update. And within, 30 seconds, it's live. We want to continue co-building with all of you. We want your feedback. We want to make sure that we make this a really friendly experience where, as we continue to do these things, just know there are things we're going to miss. There are things we can improve on. Team that really loves and thrives on feedback. And we're very used to it being in the product world.
I will say this feature here, just for people that don't know, they're like, oh, why would you want to transfer a nested Moonbird? We have a lot of users that say, hey, listen, I have my Moonbird on my hot wallet, which I use for day-to-day kind of, ETH related stuff, which we all do. And, it's getting valuable. So I want to move this to cold storage, but I don't want to unnest it. And so this functionality allows you to go in here, put in the address of your wallet to your cold storage or any other address. It transfers it in its perfect nested state. And you don't have to pay gas to unnest it or anything. It's just an easy transfer.
Yeah, speaking of nesting and taking feedback and thinking iteratively about this product, we do have some really exciting nesting updates to talk through today that are really going to relate to how we maybe originally thought about it and where now we really want to drive a lot of that value. So if you nested your Moonbird, you probably saw, a timeline that was sort of in front of you based on inferences of saying in 30 days, you're going to unlock that bronze nest. And so right here, you can kind of see the schedule that we're thinking about. The straw nest starts at 0, you get your bronze nest at 30 days, and then the silver, gold, diamond, etc. But we do have some really exciting updates on sort of our thinking around how we want to maybe change some of the original conversations, because a lot of it was really about that nesting streak. And I think we as a team have kind of changed our thinking about that. Kevin, do you want to talk a bit more about maybe why we're changing some of that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the nesting streak is really interesting because what it's saying is that you all have said, and over 91% of you all that hold Moonbirds have said, I want to do this. I want to do this nesting thing. I'm in. And as we graduate to these different nests, like that is real value. It's your time spent. It's the fact that you had the faith in us and that you locked up this NFT with us. You've taken care of your Moonbird, as the slide shows. I love that little heart. We'll have to get that to everyone that's on the spaces, because we have some great graphics here that Justin's unveiling as we're talking about this stuff. We know that it's value. So imagine this: you spent a year with us. And you've been diamond handed this whole thing. You have a diamond nest. You have a floor bird, whatever it may be. You have some additional value there because now you're eligible for all of the benefits at that, like the greatest nest tier that you can hit, right? And so what happens? Well, something happens in life. You want to sell it. It's time to buy a new car. You have some other life event that may occur, or you just like found another community that you love, and that's fine too. That means, though, that you have to unnest it. And if you unnest it, you lose your nesting status, which means all of that time that you spent being awesome community members and serving us, like in helping us, it goes away, right? So we're changing it. We're getting rid of nesting, streaking, and now we're moving over to total time nested so that you can move your nest and sell your nest as you take it forward. So if you go on OpenSea here soon, you're going to see, we're going to have a new attribute that will show you what nest you are, and you'll be able to sell your nest with your bird. And so we think this is great because it allows you to take that additional value and realize it for yourself. It's just the fair thing to do. It's the best thing for the community. And also there was one other thing, to be completely transparent. A lot of people were trying to figure out hacks. They were saying, how can I hack this? And how can I could wrap this. I could wrap this into a token. You could wrap it into another contract, and then you could shift that wrapped contract over to someone else, and you could do a off the market deal. That would have been fine. We don't care if that would have happened and we would have lost obviously there's royalties that we would have lost there, whatever. The main thing there though, is I don't like this idea of having to trust a third-party contract and not know what's going to happen. We've already had, sadly, and this has happened with Proof Collective members and it's happened with Moonbird members. We've had people that not on the wrapping side, but on other things that have interacted with smart contracts where they've lost their Proof Collective pass, which is horrible, or they've interacted with smart contracts and we've had a couple people lose their Moonbirds, which is horrible. And I really don't want that to happen. And anytime we introduce any type of third-party wrapping mechanism, it just introduces, additional risk. So we just thought this, you take your nest with you, you put in the hard time and effort. It's like taking care of like an old comic book or baseball card. If you're the one that took good care of it over a decade, you should be able to pass that value on to someone else. So that's, we're excited that value gets transferred now. I would say that the one thing that to be aware of is that from time to time, we'll talk about the benefits here in a minute, but we will be doing certain types of airdrops. If you put your bird up for sale and you are unnested, yes, you'll be holding your nest status, but you'll just miss out on that airdrop. And the same goes if you were to kind of go in and wrap it in some weird third-party contract where we couldn't see what was going on. We want you to be active participants in the community. So all that we ask is that either you stay nested, or if you go unnested and you sell it, if there is a window of some type of benefit there that is tied to an airdrop, it's only going to be for the valid nested people. So it'll be pretty straightforward.
Yeah, and so this is kind of our thinking now, is that your Moonbird is now, tied to that nest, and that's a really exciting thing. I will say, that nesting streak we see as more just a fun mechanic, just some bragging rights that you can have. So you'll still see on your profile a little like nested streak icon that shows you how long your bird has been undisturbed in their nest. But we really just kind of see this as a fun way to do it. But we really love the idea that your Moonbird now takes their nest with them whenever it goes, and now you're pouring into this Moonbird, and now it has increased value. And what we love about that is it kind of disrupts the thinking of just like, hey, you've got a floor Moonbird, but you're still putting a lot of love into that Moonbird and you're still taking care of it. And we think that you should be able to roll that forward. We're really, really excited about what it's going to look like to be able to see Moonbirds of all kinds and being able to check out the nest and just seeing, what it looks like and say, oh, wow, this Moonbird definitely has been nested a super long time. That's a really cool Moonbird right there. Has some cool benefits that go along with it as well.
Sweet. And I highly encourage you to look at the beautiful graphics that Justin has created for this slide. Go back and watch it afterwards. You'll get to see what some of the nesting graphics that he's designed, and it's really cool.
All preliminary, all concept stuff right now.
Yeah. All right. What's next?
We got some site updates, some things that you can expect to see from us pretty soon rolling out that we're actively working on. Number one, public profiles. And we're really, really excited about this. And this continues to pour into the community side of things. Kind of what I had just shown, if you can't see the visuals, is we have kind of the bronze nest mocked up on this profile where you can see the Moonbird, you can see the properties. There's a couple little areas in there that we can kind of talk through as we go. But what we want to see is you being able to share a little bit about your Moonbird. And that Moonbird has information that kind of tracks like a diary of the things that your Moonbird has done. You can get to know other Moonbirds, or if you're even considering, getting a Moonbird on OpenSea, you could go to the link specifically to check out this Moonbird, see what this one's all about and where it's been and what it's done. So
Yeah.
really excited about that.
So for those that can't see the visual, what we're showing here is a profile page that will show all of your stats and achievements and everything kind of on one page for your Moonbird. So you can imagine this as being kind of like nest.moonbirds.xyz/ and it can either be one of two ways that you'll be able to visually explore this: by Moonbird number. So if you just want to check out an individual Moonbird, or by a public wallet address. So you could go into any public wallet address the same way you could go into OpenSea, and you could see all the birds that are nesting under that public wallet address. So this will give you a place to quickly link to and show off all your birds in a kind of a beautiful format.
Yeah. The other thing we've been hearing a lot of people request that we absolutely want to be able to provide for the community is going to be that global dashboard and some leaderboards. That really just kind of shows a little bit of information about like, hey, how many total nested Moonbirds right now? Are we seeing an increase? How many people have reached bronze nests, silver nests? Show me, some visuals that kind of allow me to know a bit more about the community. And so we'll absolutely be releasing this so you can keep track of what's going on around the community. We're excited about it.
Yeah, for those, I feel like I have to do this little side commentary. For those not on video, this looks like a Google Analytics screen that Justin has designed that shows off all of our stats.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Again, preliminary design. It's not what it's going to look like. And I know the big question that we keep getting is, so what about nesting rewards? Do we hear a lot about this or what?
Say that again. Sorry,
I said, do we hear a lot about this question?
Oh, this is probably the most asked question out of all. It's like, what do I receive for nesting my Moonbird? Like, everyone's waiting for this 30-day mark. So there's a lot to unpack here. So yeah, go ahead and kick it off.
I think one thing that you can hang your hat on that we're fully committed to is whatever we roll out in terms of rewards, there's a couple things that we want to do, and that is celebrate our community, all of you who are here, being a part of what's going on. And we also want to encourage connections. We talked about this when it came to Proof Collective, why we love that there's been such a low churn. We talked about this, we talked about nesting. The intent behind nesting is to get that stabilized community of people that are here, that are getting to know one another. They're making friendly connections, professional connections, whatever it's going to be. We love the idea of this being a really consistent community. And so we kind of think about rewards in sort of right now, these two buckets. And these are not the actual phrasing that we use, but internally, this is how we've kind of talked about them. One of those being those milestone rewards. And that's what you see currently on your dashboard. You've got a straw nest, and in 30 days, you're going to get a bronze nest. You're going to unlock at that point a milestone reward. And with that, you're going to get a sort of a box, if you will. Now, some of those might be swag, physical goods. Some of those things are going to be digital goods that are going to relate to future things, or maybe it's something you can use right then and right there. But we see milestones as being, these are consistent for all of our Moonbirds. They're not necessarily going to be wildly different. Everybody has the same tiers that they're working towards as they're unlocking their nesting levels.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when I think of milestones and hitting these new nests, like know one thing, that for us, swag is just kind of table stakes. Don't expect us to like go crazy. We always want to give you ways to go out and share the Moonbird love. And I think that swag is an easy one, but we don't see it as like, it's not that big of a wow factor, right? I think the bigger stuff is from what we build as a product company that we'll be delivering to you all, rather than what we're giving you as just something you receive in the mail. We even know a lot of you don't want to be doxxed and you don't want to put in your shipping address information. And so some of you won't even want this stuff. So it's not going to be like, we're going to go super, super heavy on the physical shipment stuff. Like, we don't need yet another box of random stuff being shipped around the world to all of us, outside of the stuff that we consider to be like just table stakes for this, and which is, we want to get you amazing stickers that you can go out and share. We want to get you one of these hats, like the Moonbird hats that we have. If you're on video, you would see my hat here. I'm wearing a Moonbird's hat. And we want to get you, well, should I mention the custom stickers as well, or?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, it's going to be a part. It's already in motion.
Okay, so we'll tell you two things that we have coming very soon that we're working on. One is we're going to get you the vector art for all of your Moonbirds. So when you log in to your nested Moonbird, you'll have full access to your vector art.
To build a
Another,
brand around,
yeah,
like put it anywhere you want, put it on a billboard.
100%. And so you'll be able to scale that out, build a brand around it. It's your full commercial art to do anything you want with it, which is great. I have placed an order for 500,000 Moonbird stickers, which is basically 10,000, 50 packs of 10,000. That's going to take a little bit of time to produce, a few weeks, but they will be in your hands soon. And then when you hit the next nesting tier, what we thought would be a lot of fun would be able to do customized packs of stickers that are of your Moonbird. So you will actually receive your own Moonbird as stickers that are sent to you as well, which are going to be a lot of fun. Again, this is not the mind-blowing stuff. It's awesome stuff to receive in the mail, but the stuff that is going to be so much more fun or is more on the digital side and what we plan to unlock to you over time, that in the form of an additional, don't want to say too much, but additional things coming to your wallet at some point.
Yeah, think about what you're going to get in terms of swag is just more. We want to equip you as brand ambassadors to be able to get out there, rep the brand, wear it to the gym, wear it to a friend's party where they ask you what it is, and then they realize they ask you a question about NFTs and they have to explain it for 20 minutes. But we're really excited about getting these things out there. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then the other one is just, we'll have these things just like moon drops for us. It just means it's not tied to any specific schedule, but of course we reserve the right to just be like, okay, this is super cool. Let's do this. We have a cool partnership with, this brand that we want to work with, or we have these items. We're not going to tie it to a reward mechanism on a tier. Let's just release it. But kind of what Kevin had talked about before, there is an eligibility that has to go with your bird does need to be nested for us to be able to validate that, like, okay, cool, this is going to go out. We probably won't give the heads up on anything that's kind of in that moon drops territory. It'll just be, hey, whoever it is gets it, and then we'll announce it and it'll be on the way.
One other thing I should say that I think is important, I'll have to check the stats internally, but if you skip that form, and we made it optional because it's the right thing to do, but if you skip that form when you nested your Moonbird, they ask you for your email address. If you're not comfortable giving out your email address, consider making a Proton mail or an anonymous one or whatever, and put your email address in there, because some of these things are going to be a little bit timely and you'll want to be notified. You may not be on Twitter that day, or they may not just like hit you in the feed. And we want to tell you when these really important drops. We're not sending weekly crazy updates or spam or yet another email to check. It'll be when things hit and new announcements happen. So if you didn't plug it in, consider going back and plugging that in.
And just to reiterate, we love swag. We're having a good time with it. But ultimately, we know that utility is an even more exciting prospect as we build some of these things. And so for you, when you're nesting your Moonbird, we care about you, building value on that Moonbird, having fun with it. And so, there it is. You've got your milestone rewards. You've got your moon drops. And then, of course, as we talked about before, we've got high rise that we want to continue building towards. And that is everything that's happening for your Moonbird. We want to have a connection to high rise and how it works.
Yeah, for people that don't know, high rise, it is not the official name. So on OpenSea, you will see some other projects named High Rise. We don't want to. Don't buy those. We don't want to. No, you can buy them if it's a cool project. I don't know what it is, but I was going to say we don't want there to be any confusion. We haven't launched anything yet. That is our internal code name, but it is our version of a kind of a social platform that we're building that we think is unique and fun and very NFT based. It's going to be, it will have ownable parcels inside of it. And so as a Moonbirds holder, like this is going to be your access to that. And
absolutely.
And also I think something that should be said, well, go ahead and finish them all. And then I have one thing to comment on in terms of price of some of these things. Yeah.
The other thing you probably saw in your profile was a small little achievements section. And this is just kind of like, we can have certain criteria specified for that Moonbird, and essentially, hitting that or whatever it is could get you. So we have the diamond wings, and it's not going to be tied to April 22nd, 2022. We know that a lot of people had some issues originally nesting, and so we're probably going to make it a more general sort of like the week of launch. But this is actually how we think about it. Just fun little rewards. And again, these are little mechanisms that you can see, little stories about your Moonbird that you can track, especially when you're checking out other people's Moonbirds and seeing their little special things that go along with them. So that's how the Moonbird achievements works. And then there's also this thing called Passport that we've been putting a lot of thought into, and we also know it's going to take some time to be able to launch this, but we want to do this right. And essentially what Passport is, we've talked a lot about community and what it means to be a part of community. We'd love to see these also happen in real life. So that means you showing up somewhere, being able to use the Moonbirds app that we want to be able to build to be able to get access into these sort of token gated events. If you go and you do these things, we would love for you to be able to have a token of the fact that you went to these spaces. And so now your Moonbird has this little passport of all the places that they've been. It's pretty fun.
Love it. The other thing to mention on some of our projects that we get into down the line, whether it be high rise or some other things that we have yet to announce that are coming later this year that you all receive. The thing I think is really important to stress is we all know at the mint price that we went out at 2.5 ETH, you all spend a lot of money collecting the Moonbirds, and we're very appreciative of that. The future projects that we do going forward to all of you as Moonbird holders are going to be very much in the same vein as the way that we've done them with the Proof Collective, where when the Proof Collective came in, they received 2 free Moonbirds as being a Proof Collective holder. All of the drops that we've done, like the artist collaborations, we've done at the lowest possible price. So like way below floor kind of prices of anything that's gone out there. So when we do future things and future products that we build, of which there are many that are coming, as holders of the Moonbirds, you're going to have access to those at like $0. Like it'll either be a free drop that you just have to pay gas, or if we have another artist involved, it'll be very minimal amounts of money. We don't want to do another massive, expensive drop on top of you all. You all have supported us so much. It's our time to give back value to you. So know that that's going to always be the case for you as holders.
And of course, some big plans down the line. Kevin, you want to say anything about this?
Yeah, I mean, you can see a little egg there. It says hatching later this year. Free access to the expansion of the Moonbirds ecosystem. We know that expansion is a beautiful thing as long as it doesn't damage the initial project itself and the value that we've created for the Moonbirds, the initial Moonbirds holders. So as you can imagine, we want to get more people excited about the ecosystem. We want to think about what are the derivative projects? What are the ways that we can take Moonbirds? There's a reason why we didn't just call this Moon Owls. We left it kind of open-ended so we can do some other really fun things, but also something that doesn't like take away from this initial project that we've built. So it shouldn't, don't expect us to drop something and we're like, wait, it just looks like another Moonbird. That's not cool. Like it's not going to be, we have way crazier ideas than that. So just expect future fun related drops coming to all of you as Moonbird holders.
Absolutely. So just to kind of wrap up, put a bow on some of the things that we talked about today. Public profiles, going to be actively working on this one. We've got that global dashboard and the leaderboards that we're also going to be in development on. Obviously, in like 20 something days, we've got the bronze nest boxes that'll be going out there, both physical and digital. We've got achievement, also got passports that are in the hopper on there. It's a lot going on around Proof. If these things excite you, if building them is exciting to you, once again, please check out our job listings. We are building some really fun teams to be able to work on some pretty awesome stuff, and we're just excited to keep going.
Yeah, can't wait. It's going to be, it's the things that we have in the pipeline are just like, they keep us so I've been jumping out of bed even earlier than I was before we did this launch, which was already early. And Justin and I are talking like round the clock and into the night. Like it's not uncommon for us to call each other like late, way past working hours to be like, I got this idea, or we got to get on this, or we need to hire for this role. And just know that we are absolutely fired up for this. Like I haven't been this pumped in a decade. Like this is super, super exciting stuff to be working on. We feel very honored to be in this position to build for all of you. And this year is going to be a wild ride, like lots of new stuff dropping. That is, yeah, it's going to be great. One other thing to mention, if you are listening to this and you do hold a Moonbirds, NFT NYC, which is the New York based conference that is taking place June 21st through June 23rd of this year. We are throwing, if you're a Proof Collective member, we will have a separate little smaller event, and then we're throwing a big party bash for all of the Moonbirds holders that are going to be attending that event. We will have a way for you to go and claim your ticket here soon. It is going to be an epic event. We've got 8 people working on it right now on the contractor front that are going to throw some, it's just going to be a great party. We're all going to be hanging out, some great cocktails, some great music. Like it's just going to be a lot of fun. So I hope you all will join us for that. And I'm sure we'll have more to discuss at that event as well. So people are asking in the comments, what day is that party? We don't have that locked down yet. But if you are thinking about going out there, there's always a ton of other NFT related parties going on that we'll let you know about. We'll probably get some like allow list spots for physical parties for some of you holders at other events. So we'll let you know that. And somebody just said useless for people outside of the US. And that is absolutely true. And so we're going to be doing more of this stuff internationally. Do not think for a second that we are just going to do US based only events. Like we are going to figure out how we can do multiple things internationally. I've already had the tough conversation with my wife to talk about just going to have to be traveling more, doing other things. So we're going to be looking and engaging where there is interest in figuring out where we have the most density of Moonbirds holders, and then trying to find international European events. Love to do one in Tokyo if possible. Like all over the world would be fun. Singapore. Yeah, I see people on here in the chat making suggestions. Awesome. So thank you all for joining us for this session. Are there any other questions that we wanted to I'm trying to see if any were raised. I don't think we turned on Q&A for this particular one. Oh, I will be speaking at VCon, but we do not have a VCon actual scheduled event there. And that's kind of like purpose, on purpose. Like we didn't want to do something like this is Gary's event. He's got a lot going on there. I didn't want to pull out a bunch of Moonbird holders and be like, hey, we're doing this thing off campus. Like, let's make this about Gary, because we want to support all these other communities. And VFriends is doing some amazing stuff as well. So I will be there hanging out. We can get together at the various parties and say hi. Yeah, just wanted to support Gary and all of his things. And I'll be doing some of this stuff with other communities as well. Like we see this is something we want to do more collaboration, not less, with other communities. And that's the plan. Awesome. Thank you all. That is it for now. If you are listening on the Twitter Spaces, please, we'll have this video posted shortly. I'll tweet it out. Go back and watch the video because Justin has some amazing visuals. I hope you all are really pleased with the fact that you can take your nest with you now. That was a really fun one to kind of brainstorm through, and I think it's a great addition to the community. We'll be doing more of these types of meetups every couple of weeks. I would say we're in heavy hiring and crunch mode right now on that front. But once we come up for air, you'll see a lot more of these, so it'll be a frequent thing. We want to err on the side of over communicating and gathering feedback, doing more Q&As, and just rolling up all the great information and asks and wants that you have into our product roadmap, because ultimately you are the ones that we want to create value for and build for. So more soon.
Awesome. Well, thanks, y'all.
Talk soon.